want everyone to know about your story, how you guys started, how you guys grow it, everything. So people, I just want everyone to know exactly when you eat the food, where it's coming from, and the story behind it.
Love it.
I have my own restaurant.
Okay.
And every food, every dish that I make, I'm really proud of it. But I want people to, you know, have a little bit of knowledge about where the food coming from.
Yes.
And I think every single farmer deserves to be heard.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, especially I find that we don't have enough people, especially young generation, we don't have enough to continue doing this. But it's amazing. It's maybe because they don't find the passion of it. But farming is a real and the most important job. Because
none of us would be eating, right?
Exactly, yes. That's where we get the food. And how do we deliver the message to the next generation? How to let them know how important it is.
That is really important.
Yeah,
yes.
And I feel, especially like me, myself, I have 3 children. I have a little backyard garden that I grow almost everything that I can. Every year I just changing it because I want to show my kids, you know, that fruit, that vegetable, how it's grow, right? I want them to learn and appreciate everything they have, all the food they eat, because I believe whatever you eat, those food is become part of you.
That's right.
That's what it is. It become you, become your blood, your bone, everything of you.
A lot of what we do here at Westfield is really about that. So when we have our kids come for school programs, our one program down on the farm, the kids come here and they learn a lot about early farming techniques. So what would have been like for a family here, you know, early 1800s, and how would they feed their family? And a lot of that, of course, through farming. Yeah. What kind of tools would they have to do that? What were the conditions of the environment and the climate? What could they do to sustain their own family? And what would the roles be in the family? So what would the kids have to do? And what would the parents, and how do they work that out together as a family? So that's a big part of what we do at Westfield is around food education.
Oh, now I feel so glad to be here then.
And a lot of our programming as well, like for our public programming, is around food. So we have a really great collection of old cookbooks, so archival cookbooks. So
you guys have any like class to teach people how to cook as well?
We have in the past. That could be something we start doing again. But our volunteers, a lot of them are really amazing cooks, and they're always learning. So sometimes we use our archival cookbooks as a starting place for their cooking. So we have several of our houses have wood stoves or open hearths. We sometimes use the outdoor fires. So they use these old recipes to kind of recreate the foods that people would have been making and eating at the different time periods that we represent. And when we can, they can use ingredients that come from our property. So if we have vegetables growing in the gardens, or just kind of called the 100-foot diet.
Hi, Brian. I'm good. Annie.
Hi, I'm Brian.
Nice to meet you.
What's happening today?
I just want to learn a little bit more about how can we get that delicious
syrup.
Maple
syrup.
Yes.
Very good.
So I can introduce that to my viewer in my channel. I'm the owner of a Vietnamese restaurant, and my purpose in my channel is just introduce as many farmers as possible around locally to everyone. So people will have a better idea, you know, this food coming from this place and how they grow it, how they harvest them, how they produce it.
How neat is that? That's the best way to eat, is know where food comes from.
Exactly.
And have the character that you're eating, just an idea of what you're eating.
Yes.
The sugar is stored in the roots as a form of starch. And then the tree will shut down and go to sleep for the winter. And then all come the spring, when the tree starts to wake up, this is when the syrup starts, or the sap starts to move, okay? So all that, so because there's no leaves in the tree in the spring, it has to get some source of energy somewhere. So the tree has done this by storing all that sugar and starch. So now what happens is the starch is then converted back, in the spring converted back to sugar. And then the sugar is then, another equation goes on with that, but it runs through the tree. And then what we do is we harvest that sugar. Okay, that's converted back to from starch to sugar. And what particular happens with the sugar maple is there's gases in the sap itself, and what happens is it is energized or pressurizes when the sun hits it. So if you look at the trees out here, all our buckets are facing towards the southeast. So when the sun comes out, we got a nice warm sun hitting that tree, pressurizing those gases, they expand. When we put a spile in there, the pressure pushes that sap out and we get our sap flowing. Okay? Now at nighttime, we need that cold freeze cycle, and those gases will constrict, sucking up more water. More water will mix with the starch converts to sugar, and the process repeats itself. Throughout the day, maybe a little more depending on the size of the tree, and then we'll harvest that. And we'll need 8 of these to produce 1 liter of maple syrup. So that's a lot. This is that's a 5 liter, and we'll need 8 of them. That's 40 liters to 1 liter of maple syrup. So yeah, so
every single drop is capped.
Oh, it's precious, yeah.
It's precious.
It's precious.
So from now on, when we eat that pancake and have that syrup
On there, enjoy it, first
yes,
of all.
every single drop.
Yeah, and I always say have waffles because it carries more, there's more holes for maple syrup, okay? So make sure you serve waffles at the restaurant, okay? And I'll come there and have your fresh maple syrup.
We actually have waffle this morning.
Oh, did you? Oh, very good, very
We
good.
make some, usually we always make either pancake or waffle or make
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they run out of like syrup content.
Oh, that's good. See, the good maple syrup from this tree is very healthy for you. Lots of vitamins, antioxidants. So I always tell the kids have a second helping because it's so healthy for you as well. So.
But isn't it too much? It's not good. How much?
Too much. Yeah, too much can be not good, I guess. Yeah. It's not like my mother. You know? You know, if you have too much of that, you won't like it. Huh?
My kid, she will just like go all the way, especially my son. Like, I'm like, you're not eating soup, you know?
Yeah,
but
I
you're
know.
just gonna pour so much, and then I'm like, I always have to like clean his place.
Yeah.
So I be the one that
Just get a little
place.
bit. Yeah.
Because I feel so wasted.
I know. Get down how long it takes.
Yeah,
so
now
it can be
like take like 40 liters to get 1 liter.
1 liter. Yeah. So it's a lot. There's only 2 to 3% sugar in the syrup or the sap. So you're really boiling down a lot of water. So to get that tree cycling, all that water from the ground is being pushed up and mixed in with that starch.
So my auntie used to have a sugar cane farm.
A sugar cane farm.
Yes, and she makes sugar year for year.
I just
Oh, see, that's
just what you're talking about.
it's just, oh, beautiful. Hi there. I'm here to learn something new.
This is Peter.
Hi, Peter. Oh, yes, sir.
Hi.
Yes.
So what's going on right now in the springtime, the trees out there, the maple trees,
Yes.
are collecting water from the melting snow underground with the roots, and they're pulling that water up through their body. And as it comes up through their body, they're mixing it with sugar that they made last year.
From last year, yes.
And that turns that water into sap.
Just like that.
Just like that. It looks like water.
Yeah.
But if you shake it, it makes some bubbles because it's got organic material in it. Sugar, cellulose, lignin, some other
And I
organic-
heard that I can just drink it.
You can, if it's fresh from the tree,
Oh, okay.
you can drink it. If it's been out of the tree for 24 hours, be very
No.
careful.
Okay.
Bacteria love this and will grow in there very fast, and then you get a terrible stomachache.
Oh, I see.
So that's the sap from the tree. Now the sugar that's in there, that sugar is the food energy that makes the buds on the tree open up and turn into this year's leaves.
I see.
So all this sugar is to make those buds pop out and start to grow again, and it brings the tree out of dormancy, brings it back to life. That's what's going on with the sap. So when I drill a hole in the tree, I'm stealing a little bit of food out of the tree, but not so much. Not
Yes,
too much.
that's what I heard. Like you have to do that here. You do it every 2 years.
Yeah, I've got
And the
a
other,
rotation
yeah,
system.
rotate it so it not distress the tree.
Yeah. So now I'm going to take the sap. It's 2% sugar,
I heard that only 2% sugar in there.
and I'm going to boil away at a lot of the water until it turns 66% sugar. Big full of sap.
Yes.
We'll make one 500 milliliter bottle of maple syrup.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how long gonna take to boil?
It's probably every 18 hours of this machine boiling really hard, I get a big batch comes out. I'll get a pail and a half of maple syrup at once.
Oh wow.
Every 18 hours or boiling or so.
Oh, that's a lot.
A pail and a half of this represents 4 barrels of sap. So I'm putting barrels in the back end and getting pails, little pails of maple syrup out the front end, and all the rest is steam.
Yes. Thank you.
Now in the front kettle here, this is where it's called the finishing kettle, and that's where it's going to turn into syrup. Right?
Oh, there you go.
Now it looks a little darker than it really is sitting in the ladle. It's a little lighter than that, but that's going to end up being 66% sugar.
But it smells so good.
Yeah. 2 scoops of sugar in 1 scoop of water. It's the most sugar you can put in before it starts to crystallize. At 66, you hit this perfect place where it's sterile and bacteria can't live in maple syrup, but it stays a liquid and it doesn't crystallize. That's 66, and that's why syrup is 66.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not
like I
very-
said, it reminds me so much of my auntie farm
Oh, yeah.
sugar cane.
Oh yeah,
This smell.
yeah,
You can smell the sugar.
yeah.
Yeah.
And caramelizing sugar.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I used to eat, I just use the sugar cane, the
Yeah.
top, and I just, to dip into they call it young sugar
Yeah,
before they actually
yeah.
turn into hard. I love that.
We usually only tap ours every other year, so they actually have a marker on them. There's team, he calls them Team Orange and Team Green.
Oh.
So they have a turn every other year, so it gives them just a little break in between. But if there's any kind of stress, have you looked into one of the
Yeah, I
buckets?
have to look into it.
I'm not sure how they've been recently emptied. But
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Look, they do have stuff. Is it like just water?
it looks like water.
Yeah, it just looks like water. Because I thought it's actual syrup coming out. That's what I thought before.
Yeah, it's true. It
And I'm
is.
like, what?
And unfortunately, both start with an S. So I was saying syrup. It is season. It depends again on the weather, the size of the tree, how long you're tapping. But generally, we estimate it to be about 40 liters per tree per season.
Okay, so that means that 40 liter,
That one tree will produce
that's
about,
only
all day
produce
well,
1 liter
liter of syrup.
of syrup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Provide samples to all our visitors. So
Yes.
the syrup that we make here is almost all
Yeah,
in a way, again, is samples.
Yes, that's what he just told
Yeah,
us.
and
That
we
Peter
also-
just told us.
And then
So we have nothing left
not really
to really
uh,
to sell. It's just only for sample.
That's right, and we also use it. I mentioned about our cooks in the kitchens,
Yeah.
in the houses. They had the maple tarts and maple baked beans. They made a maple loaf,
Yes.
like a loaf bread, and we've had them. Let's see, there was a maple pudding another week. All different things from our archival
me.
cookbooks.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's right. I have to have the cookbook though. Hello.
Hey.
May I come in?
We just visited the Sugar Shack, and
Yeah.
we were just walking by, and I mentioned your maple tart.
Look at that.
So there are a few that are on the toasty side because we were getting large amounts of people. And when you
We're having fun.
30 people and you're talking to them, you forget that you have butter tarts in the oven. And
It happened. all the time.
The left side of the stove is really hot,
Oh, okay.
and the right side of the stove is perfect.
1900s recipe. I'm gonna try it. Sorry, Pablo. It's really good. It's not too sweet. It's light, buttery. Oh,
I don't believe you could say.
it's okay. I don't need you to believe.
Would you like one? Would you like one?
Mmm.
And you can cook on top.
On top. And when you bake, there anything you bake right here?
So as you can see, this side's hotter.
Yes, I see.
So
That's
you have to keep turning.
you have to
food.
keep rotate up.
From the 1880s.
This is from the 1880s. When you build something, you know, quality, and you build it right, you build it beautiful, it lasts for generation after generation. That's why when you want to do something, do it right at first, and that will be history. Yeah? Oh, the general store?
Chatting with the volunteers about what they're cooking or
Okay.
making.
Okay.
And you can sit down and learn a bit about
Oh,
you know, the
absolutely.
recipes that they're using
Oh, yes.
and the ingredients and the methods. So I'd encourage you to come back.
Oh, absolutely. I will.
Talk
See.
about what we might be able to do together.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Great. And I'll definitely go onto your site and have a look at what
Oh,
you've
yes,
been
please.
up to.
Yes. So
I understand
mainly-
you have a setup in your backyard.
Yes.
For your,
So I set up outdoor kitchen, and every year I spend every year I spend this and that, and make it more interesting, nicer. So that's why we start cooking usually by April, May, and we cook all the way to winter.